Well, to go from watching on one screen one of the most inspired efforts I've ever seen in a professional sporting event for the Toronto Blue Jays, who are now handily leading the LA Dodgers, to simultaneously watch what may be one of the most pathetic efforts I've ever seen from a group of professional athletes is fucking embarrassing. This is one of the most embarrassing teams I have ever seen put together, with the most embarrassing effort on a consistent basis. You know, the one thing that keeps driving me nuts when I'm watching these guys, and will continue to drive me nuts watching these guys, is they are not that much different than what they were last year. They are not that much different. They lost one player and built out a team with more depth. First of all, you're not getting the greatest goaltending in the world, which does not help you. Stolarz has been fine, not great, letting in some he shouldn't, not saving some of the ones he should that are above expected. Then you've got Caden Primo, who goes in there tonight and just gets his shit pumped. Like, to say that this is a bad team, I don't think is accurate. Why would they be a bad team? This is effectively the same team that went to the final game of round 2, a game 7, against the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. So I'm not willing to be at that point and say this is a terrible team, they stink, blah, blah, blah. But it is infuriating to watch these guys put together that effort. Like, they do not give a fuck. And it's so often I talk about, oh yeah, they don't, okay, you can't say they don't try, they don't care, blah, blah, blah. Rosie and Hutz have come on here numerous times, and I'll defer to them because they are the guys who played in the NHL, and they're the ones who say, hey, it's not fair to say that they don't care. But what the fuck was that we just watched? I know that they put up more shots than what Columbus did. I know that they walked away from that one with a few different chances and, the couple of different positives, and JT with 500, sure. You just got your asses handed to you by the Columbus Blue Jackets on a Wednesday night where you did not move your fucking feet. Losing to the Blue Jackets is fine. Losing in that fashion, losing with that pathetic of an effort is embarrassing. And this group, they should have some type of realization, like, we can't do that. That's not acceptable. That's not okay. And they just won't. There are men's league hockey players who are dying to go home from the arena right now, dying to get off of the ice so that they can watch the World Series between shifts and fucking get home to their couches, who have no interest in being on the ice, who give more of a fuck than those clowns putting together whatever you call that roster out there tonight. Straight-legged, no sweat, no give a fuck at all. How do you go through 60 minutes that pathetic with that little of an effort and just no spark, no energy, no effort? You're giving up 5-on-1s. Your goaltender clearly is not having a very good night. You know he's capable of having that. And instead of having a response, you just say, nah, fuck it. We're out of this one. What the fuck are you doing? Like, I want to come on here and be able to just evaluate, yeah, they're good, they're not good, whatever. And I understand people are at this point where they look at it and say, yeah, this is a bad team, this is a drop-off. I just do not want to be at a point of admitting that, because you changed out one player. Straight legs by a guy wearing the C making $13.25 million is unacceptable. He had maybe 3 good shifts here tonight. I get it, back to back, but so did fucking Columbus. Step up for your goaltender. Who gives a fuck about if it's a backup goalie or not, or if Tanev's playing or not, or Nylander's playing or not? You can lose the game, but you can't go out there with your balls left in the room. It's unbelievably pathetic. And I don't want to hear about, well, they didn't have Mitch. Well, it's because they lost 16 and he went somewhere else and you ran him out of town. What does that change? They did it with him here. They're doing it with him without him here. It's the same shit. How at year 10 in the NHL do you not have an understanding that it's not a fucking cakewalk through these games? How do you think at this point in your 10-year NHL career you can just skate out there and fucking lollygag for 60 minutes and expect to come away with the win? It's the NHL. It's the best league in the world. On any given night, any team is going to give you problems. And if you skate around with your goddamn fucking thumb up your ass, the other team is going to hand it to you. And that's what the Columbus Blue Jackets did tonight, and deservingly so. I've talked about here right now about how shit the Leafs were, and they were. The Columbus Blue Jackets showed up to play tonight, and they deserved every fucking bit of that win. Kudos to them for showing up and not laying off the gas until the final buzzer. Nothing taken away from Columbus. Great job by them. But what the fuck are you doing? Every single guy in that room, starting with the guy wearing the C, needs to be looking himself in the mirror at night and saying, "What am I?" Because having that, you are fucked. If you expect that to get you anywhere, you are fucked. I get the whole wait until playoffs, regular season doesn't matter, get to the playoff shit. And again, there are problems I am finding with these guys that we can dig into. I have no problem talking about the fact that the D zone stinks right now. Transition game stinks. In what world are you giving up 5-on-1s regularly? 4-on-1, 5-on-1. It is numerous times now. Like the Devils game, 4-on-1. Fucking Brendan Dillon is walking down Broadway burying on you. Then you've got tonight, 5-on-1. Mind you, it's Zach Werenski. Regardless, 5-on-1. That doesn't just happen because you're a bad hockey team. Sure, bad hockey teams will give that up, but that happens because you are out to lunch, not paying attention, don't have an attention to detail, don't have a work ethic, don't show heart. That is what happens when you do not show up mentally and emotionally to these games. Sure, physically you're on the ice, physically you're on the score sheet, but nothing else was in this game. This team is lackadaisical. They do not care enough. They do not show an attention to detail, and it is going to fuck them. You've had enough talent in years past to overcome these things. You are beyond that now. You do not just have enough talent to win on talent alone anymore. You had enough talent to win on talent alone to get you to the playoffs, and then we saw year after year after year after year after year after year. Was that 9 yet? That this team did not have anything else that it took. They had the skill, they had some speed, that was it. They got to the playoffs, they got bullied, they got out-hustled, they got outworked, they got out-wanted, they got out-gritted, they got out... Whatever the fuck you want to say, they got out that. Finally, for the first time, they said, okay, you know what? Let's change this. Let's build a team that's not just all skill and has those other things. So now you've turned down the skill you have and you just don't show up? You're still expecting yourselves to be able to walk through because you could fucking stick handle in a phone booth? This is embarrassing. Your best guys have to step up. They have to be your best players. You cannot just expect that because you put on the jersey every night and your name is your name and you make the money you make, that you're going to be able to win games on a nightly basis. It doesn't work like that. It's the best league in the world. Anybody could win on any given night. It's fucking pathetic at this point. Like, turning on the TV and having to watch this is like getting to the point of wanting to claw my eyes out. I could live with it if they're just a bad team. I could live with it if they're a team that's showing up every night, going balls to the wall and losing games. I could almost accept it if they're just a bad team and they don't show up and you're like, well, fuck. You're in game 70. You know you're not making the playoffs. It is what it is. We got to grind this out. We're trying to get Gavin McKenna. You are not, and you should not be. There is no reason for you to be showing up, or for that matter, physically showing up, but not mentally showing up to these games. You are making stupid mistakes that should not ever happen at the NHL level, especially when you're making the money you're making. Unacceptable from this group. Unacceptable. Thank fucking God the Blue Jays are good. Thank God. I mean, like, just... wins in reg, wins not in reg. Who the fuck cares? You gotta win games. Unreal. No identity right now. Tonight's postgame show is a presentation of Bet365. As always, thank you to our friends at Bet365. Sorry, it took me a little while to get there. Was a little fired up off the top. Also, just a note for people, if you want to get your question or your comment read, which I see we've got one already here, make sure to send in your super chat to the show here tonight. I will answer any and all of the super chats that come through. You guys got questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, all of that. I will read, answer, comment on all of your super chats. So make sure to get in those super chats here on the show tonight. And let's get to the first one that we've got, because we do have a bunch that have come in. Michael says, 5 years ago, we want them to break up the core four when they lost to a Zamboni driver who works for them, and we opposed re-signing Rielly, yet they proceeded. Look, we can revisit everything that's happened in the past. It's going to get us fucking nowhere. So what is it that we're doing? What is it that we're doing? Being a Leafs fan is challenging. We hate a rookie GM to oversee the team during such a critical period. Besides Nyes, all his draft picks are garbage. Great. Like, go down the history of it. That's awesome. That does not fucking help us for now. Like, we can just continue to go down this path of everything that's happened in the past. Yes, understood. I watched it. I lived through it. I get it. Michael, again, we want to trade 16 before his no trade kicks in, but they chose to keep him. We want to keep first pick to acquire top six they used for a fourth liner. Guys, Brad Treliving did not say, you know what? I know that you want a 6th round pick for your fourth liner, but instead I'm going to give you a first. It was the cost of acquisition. I get it. People can disagree that maybe they shouldn't have got that guy, but that is what the cost at the deadline was. Do people not remember what Colorado went out and paid for Brock Nelson first-round picks, prospects. He is not a first-line center like what is being implied here via these super chats. I get it. It's frustrating. Lawton himself admitted things did not go the way that he wanted them to. He did not play as well as he wanted to. I, again, am going to be on the apologist train here. I think Scott Lawton will be a good player for this team. I think they're missing him right now. I think he looked really good in the preseason. But it's not like Brad Treliving was calling up GMs being like, actually, I'm going to give you a first, even though you don't want that. That was the cost of acquisition. And people were pretty hyped up about getting him at the time. Michael, again, now the team looks like rubbish, no assets to make a trade, and if they miss the playoffs, the first-round pick will go to Boston. The pick is at least top 5 protected. And if they're going to miss the playoffs, let's be real here. They're going to trade away pieces. They've got guys on this roster that you're well aware would be able to go elsewhere and get you some type of return for some types of picks. It's reality. Like, if they're going to miss playoffs, they're going to accept that. They're not just going to hang on to this group and be like, well, I hope. They'll at least be proactive in some of this stuff. And it is top 5 protected. Again, Michael, thank you for the super chat. Zach, I apologize for my comments because I know you won't agree. No worries. I decided to give up the team on the team. I used up my budget super chat for a while. Well, thank you for the super chats. Appreciate it anyways. Look, again, the most infuriating part of this whole run that they've been on to start this season, 11 games in, following this loss to the Blue Jackets here tonight, is just that it's pathetic effort after pathetic effort after pathetic effort. Like, this is not showing up and just being a worse team. Sure, they are a worse team by nature of them not showing up and the other team showing up more. I fully concede to that. They have not been the better team really in many of these games that they played in. Sure, the one against Calgary last night, better team. You know, even then, I'm struggling to think about ones that they have actually been the better team in. Regardless, it's them not showing up and working every night that is just infuriating. Like, how do you get a legitimate read? Did these guys quit? Do they not have that hustle in them? Do they not have that drive, that care, that energy? Do they not have that? The worst part is it feels like this is just a continuation of what we see in the playoffs. What happens when they go against Boston, Tampa, Florida in games and things don't go their way? What happens in those games? If you ISO cam Matthews, Marner, Nylander in those games and then compare them to what's happening right now, it would look like identical footage. For 9 years. And then what you're seeing right now, same shit. That's what's infuriating. It's like they just quit. I don't think Treliving has put together a bad team. It feels like they just fucking quit. Which is mind-boggling. 11 games in. You're not in a race mid-season. You're not just on the outside by Christmas and you're like, fuck, I don't think we can do it. You quit before the season started. If it meant that much to you to keep the core together, maybe you should have showed up when it mattered. Instead of fucking quitting after the guy leaves. He's gone. It's over. Move on or figure it out. Year after year after year after year after year, we can win here, we want to win together. We can win here, we want to win together. And then the next year, you get an opportunity to do so, and you don't show up when it matters. All of them. Finally, they say, this doesn't work. You try to trade one of the pieces. He turns it down for a piece that would have been significantly better come playoff time. He says no to the trade. You are stuck with that group. You effectively lose the piece for almost nothing. You finally say we're going to shape this thing different. And then you just quit? This feels like a complete quitting. 11 games in by these guys. Another super chat here from Tammy. Tammy, thank you for the super chat. Tammy says, I will petition for After Dark to become Jays Talk. The travesty that are the Leafs don't deserve the waste of breath tonight. Well, the Jays right now are up 6-1 on the Dodgers in LA in the top of the 8th with 1 on, and they do not fucking give up. Bottom of the order, top of the order, subs, next man up, in for injured guys, in for your first time in the postseason. Rookies, vets, does not matter. They do not give up. They are scrappy. And these goobers wearing the fucking blue and white just show up and expect that because they put on the jersey, they're going to win. Leafs make me so miserable is the hashtag Tammy sends. Another super chat here. Nate Dogg. Nate Dogg. Longtime Matthews hater, Nate Dogg. Nate Dogg says, Matthews is such a loser. He's not hurt. It's the pressure of the captaincy. That is when his goal scoring fell off a cliff. Just like the playoffs. Look, I don't know about what's happening with him this year. I will say last year, I think he was visibly hurt. You could tell that. But this is just not acceptable, what you're seeing right now. Really unacceptable. I don't know. Like, I'm just reading the chat right now. Look, if they quit because Marner's gone and their buddy isn't here anymore, reality is that confirms this whole country club atmosphere, mindset, and approach more than anything ever could. They could not win together. They would not ever win together. They would never get over the hump as a core. And then one of the guys that was one of the main ghosts when things got tough, and I think is the worst thing to ever happen to this organization. He leaves, and because your buddy is gone, you quit? If that's what's happening, the whole country club conversation around these groups could not be more accurate. That would all but confirm it. Just it would be what you need to answer the question about whether or not it's been a country club. Our buddy's gone, so I'm going to sulk and I don't want to be here. Joey Grosbeak, Jays are talk of town. Maybe Leafs snap out of it after World Series. Maybe. Hopefully. And look, the thing is, again, the Leafs traditionally struggle in October. They get off to these slow starts. It's just infuriating to watch a group not care. It's infuriating to watch a group not try. Loose puck battles, they're second to them. Races, they're second to them. And a lot of times, I see people, they're old and they're slow. It's not even anything to do with that. The other guy is hustling into the corner, and whoever it is that's going into the corner for the Leafs is straight-legged, standing there watching. I don't want it. It's only October. I don't want to go in the corner. It's only October. I don't want to take the hit. It's only October. I don't want to block the shot. There's just this missing desire. And I heard Barnaby talking about it on Leafs Morning Take the other day, and I think he's exactly right. It can be hard to do that when it's October and November, or it's the middle of February, and you've just played in an intense playoff series to close out your last season, where you say to yourself, it's hard to get up to do that here now. But the thing is, the teams that are successful, the teams that put themselves over the top, are the teams that kind of continually find ways to get out on the ice and go into those dirty areas and put their bodies and themselves on the line in those situations. They're willing to sacrifice. Watch the Florida Panthers. It's October, and they're willing to block shots and take hits and go into scrums and crash the net. They will still do all of those things all year. You don't just flip a switch and have things work out like that. They tried every single season, and it never worked. Never worked. We always said, well, it won't happen. They'll build through the regular season, and they won't carry this over. They'll change how they are when they go to the playoffs. They'll flip the switch. You can't. It has to be ingrained in your identity, and it's very clear with these guys, it's not. They don't have that. They don't have that identity. And I think it's being fostered by the country club atmosphere that was built here. It's just carried over. This is an infuriating start to the season. Infuriating start to the season here. Bunch of stuff we got to get to here on the program tonight. I just like watching this team night in and night out. I mean, my counterpoint with the whole old and slow thing, and I'm curious if people in the chat agree, because like I see Marner fanboys in the chat going off about old and slow. My counterpoint to the whole old and slow conversation is if you have an identity and you buy into the identity and the game plan and execute the identity and the game plan, old and slow does not matter. Kirby from the Cats and Rats is in the chat right now. I'm sure he can attest to it. The Florida Panthers are not the fastest team in the world. They are not the fastest team in the world. Barkov, not a burner. Bennett, not a burner. Kachuk, not a burner. I wouldn't say that Aaron Ekblad is a burner. But they buy in to winning every shift. They buy in to finishing every single check, to every single hit. They buy into blocking shots, killing penalties, all of it. Like, there is never any quit in the Florida Panthers. They beat the shit out of you. They make your life miserable. They don't let anything easy into the middle of the ice. There you go. Thank you, Kirby. Cats and Rats podcast. Tkachuk is registered as one of the slowest by NHL Ice Edge. Bottom 2 to 5%. Thank you. Like, I'm not saying the Panthers are slow. My point is that they are not a fast team. They went up against the Edmonton Oilers and manhandled them, who I would argue is a faster team. Fast. They fucking buy in, and they made Edmonton's life miserable. It's hard to go through the neutral zone. It's hard to go to the corner. It's hard to go to the front of the net against the Florida Panthers. If the Maple Leafs had any of that buy-in, if they had any of that mentality, that game plan, that identity, and I'm not saying they can replicate it. My point is, if you can do that, then speed does not matter. The problem is they're just not playing that way. And, you know, again, referring back, Frankie Corrado came on the show, I think it was a week ago or so, with me and Alberga, and we talked to him about the way that this team had started. And he brought up a good example. And I don't know if it's just what's going on here. I don't know if it's the locker room culture, if it's the way they're trying to play. I don't know. But Dakota Joshua would physically impose himself on the other team in games. He would make his presence felt. He would change momentum. He would bring energy. He would establish that. Doesn't do it here. Nick Waugh in Vegas. Not a guy who would go out there and beat the wheels off guys, but not an easy player to play against. Sound defensively, good enough offensively. Hasn't been that here. Like, there just seems to be this lack of buy-in, commitment, effort that's taken place to open this season. Again, kudos to fucking the Columbus Blue Jackets, but to just not even show up, you're going to get your shit pumped if that happens. Late 3619. Third line was the best line tonight. I mean, I would agree with you. With that, I mean, let's take a look here. Let's get to our next segment, and that would be Crave the Stats. Take a look at tonight's box score. Crave the Stats is a presentation of Uber Eats. Uber Eats is enabling fans to maximize their fandom all season long with exclusive game day deals on the app, from game day eats to paper plates and napkins. If you're hosting, to all the ingredients you need to make your favorite game day dip every time the Leafs are playing at home, you can get these exclusive deals in Toronto only on Uber Eats. Firehouse Subs, BOGO Brisket Hat Trick, the Kibo Sushi, BOGO California Roll, and Shelby's Shawarma, BOGO Traditional Wrap. BOGO, that would be buy one, get one before, during, and after the game. Uber Eats is assisting every fan's hockey experience all season long. Let's just take a look here at the box score for tonight's game and see what we've got in our rundown. Jay's top of the ninth here for anybody wondering and just keeping track or wondering if I have any reactions as things go along where I'm at. For those watching it back after listening to the podcast, which, by the way, quick note on that, if you do want to listen to the show and you miss it live, or you want to watch it back, or you want to hear about it the next day, you can listen on all podcasting platforms. The Leafs Nation After Dark, it is available everywhere you want across all podcasting platforms. You can find this show. turn on automatic downloads. It helps me, supports me, whether you want to listen to it or not. Even if you turn on automatic downloads, I would greatly appreciate that. So make sure to do so. But let's take a look at tonight's box score for your Toronto Maple Leafs. And this is coming off the theme here about the third line. I would agree. I know the goals are scored by Nick Robertson, John Tavares, and Sammy Blais, but I thought the third line looked good. Again, you want to talk about lines that are showing at least some type of energy, shift in, shift out. I think this third line is one that continues to bring effort and energy. I think that they've struggled with some execution here. They've been caught at times in their own zone. They've struggled a little bit in transition here or there, but for the most part, I think that I think that third line has looked pretty good together. I actually do think that Late's point there is a good one. I do think that they were the best line the Leafs had tonight. I think that kind of overall basis here, if you put together the entire body of work of that third line over the last little while, they've been the Leafs' best third line overall, night in and night out. I think that Easton Cowan has brought a ton of energy to that line. I think he's been a guy who never gives up on plays. He's always in there chasing after the pucks, whether it's on the forecheck, on the back check, however it may be. You can feel his presence when he's on the ice. He's a noticeable player, and I've been really impressed with Easton Cowan's game to this point. You watch guys like Joshua and Nick Waugh. I think they have more to give here still. Those guys are not the same category for me where I'm willing to give Easton Cowan a pass on some stuff. I do expect a little bit more when it comes to Joshua and when it comes to Joshua and when it comes to Waugh. But they've kind of helped balance things. They're mature guys alongside of him, and I think that they've looked good together. Chris David, 58-89, burning a year of Cowboys ELC, looking like a bad idea now. I have no idea what you're talking about because they didn't. This does not burn it at all. He was done playing junior. He's either going to play in the AHL or he's going to play in the NHL. His ELC is underway. There's no burning it. You don't get to send him back to junior. He's AHL or he's NHL. And either way, it uses a year. So he's got to be here. In professional hockey, that is. Yeah. That third line here tonight, just looking at their stats, Crave the Stats here, Uber Eats, looking at that third line tonight, Easton Cowan, 3 shots on goal, no goals, no assists, finishes with an even number on the night, no plus, no minus. Then you also look here, looking over, finishes with a hit, 1 giveaway, a blocked shot for Easton Cowan. Nick Waugh finishes with a shot on goal, 2 block shots for him, 5 giveaways, tough night with the puck. And then Dakota Joshua, 2 shots on goal, blocked shot, 3 hits, 2 takeaways, no giveaways for him. He also drew the penalty later in the third period there that kind of results from a hustle play. He goes down into the corner, he's battling for the puck, forces the Columbus defender, I think it was Damon Severson at that point, to get inside, get a hold on him, and then sends the Leafs to the power play. Meaningless because your power play fucking atrocious, but sent them to the power play nonetheless. Continuing on with Crave the Stats on that theme, because why not? Might as well continue to make it a conversation. Year 10 of the shittiest fucking power play of all time. You want to talk about relying on skill to get things done. 0 for 2 for the Leafs on the power play. Not like that would have made some crazy difference, but 0 for 2. Columbus does go 0 for 2 on the power play as well. Regardless, just a tough night for this Leafs team. Face-offs, 42%. Infuriating watching these guys, really. Let's get to our best bet segment here. Our best bet, as always, is a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use the code NATION at bet365. You must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. It looks like Blue Jays are going into the final inning here as well. Just a quick note for people. The bottom of the ninth inning, so final stretch. 3 outs remain for them to get back to Toronto with a lead for Game 6 on Friday. Best bet tonight, we go 1 for 2. But that does also result in a positive for us here tonight. So we had a half unit on Matthew Knies. That was $50 to profit us $120. That $50 bet loses, but we do win on the Nick Robertson anytime goal, because why not? Nicky Bobby, $20, a fifth of a unit at plus 400, profits us $80 on the night. That brings our season total to $200. And then that also brings our record on the year to 7-10. So we are now up at this point, profit-wise, $200. That would be 2 units of profit, but we are down on the record. And as I've said before, and as I will continue to say over and over and over again, I do not care about record as long as we are winning money. And to this point, we are winning money. Okay. Let's get here now to our play of the game. You'd think in a game like this there would be no play of the game, but there is. Somehow there is. Play of the game, man. Play of the game. Play of the game. Johnny T, 500. And I see the comment there, Mario Kart 647. Mario Kart says, kind of surprised you didn't take JT, Zach. No, I was not going to take JT. Look, I know that he's chasing 500, but the problem is I am still trying to get good numbers on these. Bet365 posts some awesome stuff. The number on JT just has not been that enticing to bet on. I think everybody is aware that 500 is coming, so I just laid off of it. I didn't want anything to do with it. But Nick Robertson crosses over the blue line, enters the zone, makes a great pass across to Matthew Knies. I think if that's a closer game, that play probably gets challenged. Discretion of the refs and the video review team at that point as to whether or not it is an offside. I thought it was offside, to be honest with you. I mean, he bobbles the puck just as he's about to go over, and I couldn't fully tell if JT's foot was inside the zone yet as the puck was going across. But play of the game is that goal. I mean, it's Robertson entering, making a great pass across to Knies, and then Knies dumps that thing back to JT for career goal number 500. You know, no matter how you shake it, that's an amazing accomplishment by John Tavares. He's been the pillar of consistency from the day he entered the NHL. You look at the day he came to the Leafs to where he's at right now, it's just the same thing, night in, night out, the same stats, the same points, the same averages, all of it. JT has been awesome since he got here and gets his 500th career goal, and very deserving. Not exactly the greatest night in the world, and one that he's going to want to take with him forever, but 500 career goals in the NHL is nothing to scoff at. We got trade proposals here in the chat right now. Like, that is the state of Leafs fans in the chat right now, where we got people who are looking to figure out if they can get, Brent Clark and Quinton Byfield to Toronto. That's how dark things are getting. $42 in super chats here tonight. Again, proceeds from our super chats do go to Sick Kids Charity, so thank you to everyone who sent along a super chat here tonight. It goes a long way. It's not just going in my pocket. Proceeds from the super chats are going to Sick Kids Charity, so it goes to an awesome cause. Let's get out of here with our final thing. This one's the easiest of all time. You send yours in the chat, but I can't imagine people are going to have a very different one than what I've got here right now for tonight. And the grade of the game on this one is the easiest F of all time. Like the easiest F of all time. That was a failure from puck drop to finish. I mean, I saw Alberga tweet out that the start of the second period was better. I don't disagree with him. Whatever Berube said must have worked to start the second period. They looked better. And then it fell off a fucking cliff. Like, it just disappeared. Complete and utter fail. This isn't even like a 49% fail where you just missed. Full-blown fail. Like, incomplete project. DNF. Pathetic performance. Pathetic energy. I mean, it's like I want to say I can't believe what we just witnessed, but like in the back of my head going into these, it's like you know what's going to happen with this team. You know that that's the type of game that they're going to put up. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. So we go 1 for 2 on the bets here tonight. Profit of $30 total at the end of the day. We are up $200 on the season. Blue Jays, 2 outs to go to get back with a lead. Game 6 on Friday. Failure. Play of the game. Johnny T. Goal. I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, we'll be back. Next Leafs game is on Saturday, so we'll break that one down. I believe against the Flyers on Saturday. I don't know. I think you got to like take a day off tomorrow and you got to go out tonight and you got to black out or something. Like this team's got to be putting back as much booze as they can as a team and maybe trying to figure out if they can change something. Maybe Jake McCabe needs to call Matthews an asshole and somebody fights internally or there's a fight in practice tomorrow or I don't know what. But there needs to be a colossal change, and it starts internally. Like, we can blame Tree Living, and we can blame Berube all we want, but it's the same shit that we've seen for 9 years. It's just more exaggerated now. And I don't want to lay the blame on Tree Living and Berube because it's the same guys, and it's the same problem no matter who's being here around them. Yeah, focus your attention on the Jays. Like, I need to take my own advice, take a breather, stop watching this shit, turn off social media, don't look at the highlights of these guys. Highlights for Columbus, lowlights for the Leafs from this game. Just Jays. That's it. That's all we got to care about right now because this group of individuals put together is exactly that. Individuals, not a team. 1 strikeout away from the Toronto Blue Jays taking a 3-2 series lead, coming back to Toronto for Game 6 on Friday. Thank you all for watching here tonight. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys joining in, liking, subscribing. If you haven't already, make sure to do so on your way out as well. On top of that, come back here tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Nick Alberga, Jay Rosehill. It should be a fascinating one for the boys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys back here on Saturday. Until then, find it within you, some way, somehow, to keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take, Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos. Make sure to subscribe here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.